What's up, Sooner fans? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge. If you aren't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click the button, be a part of the Sooner Surge family here on YouTube. Turn on those notifications so you're updated anytime we post any videos because honestly, we post a lot of them. So be a part of it. Here today to talk about, if you haven't seen it, you've lived under a rock. Danny Stutsman has been all over social media, not just locally, but also nationally, with his just infamous pregame speech that sent chills and goosebumps down the spine of any Sooner fan. If you've seen that, you also saw Boz at the end of that. Just an unbelievable video that was put out. And Stutzman's come now as one to show that he has many quotes, one-liners. You've even seen the shirt that's already been made. You saw Venables wearing a shirt next to Stutzman, kind of had his hat on backwards. I'll tell you what, this is only going to increase recruiting even more in Sooner Nation, Jay.
Big time. And that video, insane. I think it had the other day, I don't know how many millions of views, but a ton. Okay. And it's even, obviously you got the OU fans are just loving this. And then you got the Texas fans. They're a little PO'd right now. Even players, if you didn't see Xavier Worthy today on his Instagram, take a shot at it and take a shot at the quote by Danny Stutzman there. We'll probably see Texas again. They can try to come beat us then, but right now they have no room to stand on. OU's won most of the last, I think 7 of the last 11 is. I don't remember how many, but you got all the Texas fans whining that OU does these videos after they beat Texas like it's their Super Bowl. Yet they did one after they beat Bama. They did one after they beat OU 49-0 last year. They need to go sit down and just be quiet. They lost. They lost the game. Okay.
This is, yeah. If there is a rematch, though, Jay, this is going to be fun because it's creating a little bit of some headline bulletin board materials. But honestly, you talk about Danny Stutzman's not the first Sooner to throw some kind of quote that went a little bit viral. You had plenty back in the day, even leading up to several years ago. And I'll throw one name that a lot of Sooner fans remember this probably. I know you'll remember it, Jay, but Trent Smith. Trent Smith was not scared to say what was on his mind. And I vividly remember, and I'm probably going to botch this quote, but in regards to OSU, he said something to the equivalent of, if we beat OSU, you might see it in the Sunday edition of the paper. But if they beat us, you'll hear it'll be Christmas all year long. It'll be an orange freaking Christmas all the way, all year long. That was his quote about OSU. That one got a lot of publicity. I don't remember if you remember that one, Jason, but Trent Smith, loved the guy, always vocal.
I love Trent Smith. He would say what's on his mind a little bit. And here's the deal. When you see this with Stutzman and some of these guys, to me, it shows that the swagger's back, boys. The swagger is back. And you know what? You got to have that edge. They have an edge to them. And they're backing it up right now. But I'm going to go all the way back. I mean, this guy, Brian Bosworth, initiated all this stuff, okay? You want to talk about Danny Stutzman. He's kind of like a little bit on the Boz side of things, all right? Boz, if you remember his famous quote was, "The sight of burnt orange makes me puke." I mean, that was, he just said it, right? And, if you watch the 30 for 30 and you know his story, he tried to make his shirt before NIL was a thing. But what Stutzman's doing on the field and then back and he's on the Pat McAfee show, it was great because he was talking about his teammates a lot. That's what I love to see. And the people out there whining about this shirt, it's ridiculous. Name, image, likeness, that's what this is for. And the fact that BV put one on for a picture, I thought was great. I mean, that's outstanding. And there's been, like you said, there's been a lot of guys. I mean, I don't remember some of the quotes from Baker Mayfield, but he's one of them to do the same thing, right? I mean, I like that. I like that little swagger. And it's causing Texas to get in this little uproar right now. And the whole tattoo thing, I don't know if you saw on Pat McAfee lifted up that right leg there, and it looked like the tattoo was still there, and he's leading up to people's imaginations, whether it's real or fake. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and you bring up Bosworth. I just think again, the fact that Venables, I mean, you saw in the video that OU made, he's there at the end leading the whole team in the "We in the World" chant that he was saying. But listen, BV's embraced it. He's allowed these former players not just to be on the sideline, but also here you can see in the locker room, and the guys love it, embracing the tradition. Some of the best players ever stepped foot on campus on the Palace on the Prairie. That's cool. Another one, Jay. I know you remember this one because this guy was your favorite guy. I remember in the year of the 2000 national championship, and that was Torrance Marshall, Jay.
Oh, what Torrance Marshall did at midfield, you don't see it very often. I mean, you can pull it up on YouTube. I encourage people to go watch it on YouTube. Maybe some of you are younger and you didn't get to experience it when it happened, but he pretty much told Chris Winkie, "You got my boy's trophy, and we're going to get it back tonight." I mean, go watch it. He was smack talking, and what was awesome about that, the refs were just, it's fine. That was back in the day where you could, I mean, he was talking smack and during the coin toss, right? Love it. And I think it's kind of refreshing that this is going on right now. I think as far as uh, just kind of the edge the OU has, the swagger. I think it's very refreshing as an OU fan to see this.
Yeah, and they get it from their head coach too, Danny Stutsman too. But I just think it's a very special bond that Danny Stutsman and Brent Venables has.
Yeah.
It's unique. I just think, and if you heard Stutzman also talk about that, Venables is freaking slinging the ball around as a scout team quarterback.
Yeah, tearing his meniscus up.
Tearing his meniscus and still going at it. Like you would, Barry Switzer, people would say they'd run through a wall for, and people are going to say the same thing about Brent Venables. And that's huge.
That's true. And that video that they put out, kudos to OU football creative team. That was unbelievable. And before Danny even started doing his pregame speech, Brent Venables had me ready to run through a wall. And you don't get that from every coach. I can name about 3 or 4 coaches right now in college football that I think motivates like that. One of them is Kirby Smart. I've heard Kirby Smart in the locker room. He's very passionate, very like getting them riled up. But there's not a whole lot. Dan Lanning's another one. Dan Lanning is along the same lines, I believe. Keep in mind, most of these are defensive guys. If you can't catch on here, but that's not happening with Lincoln Riley. I promise you. I've seen some of Lincoln Riley's pregame speeches when he was at OU. Not the same intensity. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is, look, Danny Stutzman can say it because he can back it up. That is the difference with this team and years past.
Any worry right now that this big Texas win is they're kind of getting up here? Any worry at all from you?
I tell you why I don't have a worry is they didn't even have they didn't have practice off when they came back from that. In fact, from everything that I've heard, practice was as hard, or they got after it even more so after that. BV's not going to let him kind of have that complacent down moment. I don't think Danny Stutzman would let him. That's the type of leader Danny Stutzman is. I want you guys, our viewers, to drop in the chat, in the comment section, maybe a quote that you remember from a former Sooner player that maybe got you goosebumps and chills coming down your spine, like the Danny Stutzman quote.
This one's going to be hard to beat.
This one's going to be hard to beat. You probably already ordered your shirt. If you haven't, you need to get one. It's amazing. So yeah, drop your comments in the chat. Subscribe to the Sooner Surge. Till next time, Boomer.
Boomer.